Welcome back to Impact. His role models are Dr. Ben Carson and the American civil rights activist Martin Luther King Jr. His motto, "Do not let the world dampen your dreams." Our brains to speak is a 17-year-old Tarick Tavares Walton.
Brains is brought to you by Milo, the food drink of future champions, and Digicel. Expect more, get more.
I have a dream that one day the state of Alabama, whose governor's lips are presently dripping with words of interposition and nullification, will be transformed into a situation where little black boys and little black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and little white girls.
Meet Tarick Walton, a sixth form student of Campion College. He says his motivation comes from men who were determined to defy the odds.
Seeing the success of individuals whom I emulate helps to motivate me to pursue goals in life. Prominent individuals such as Martin Luther King Jr., Ben Carson, helps me to aspire for greater things in life. Ben Carson, for example, he grew up poor. He was also one of the slowest students in his class. But through hard work, determination, and a lot of reading, he moved up from the bottom of his class straight up to the top. He carried that same momentum throughout all his studies, and today he's one of the world's greatest neurosurgeons. So seeing where Ben Carson started out from and where he is today helps me to know that I can do the same.
How did you become familiar with the Ben Carson story?
Well, I read both of his autobiographies. I think one was called Gifted Hands and Gifted Hands and Think Big. Think Big. I read both of them.
Tarick's biggest fans are his parents.
He was born 1 week after that Hurricane Gilbert devastated Jamaica. How was it, in an advanced state of pregnancy, about to give birth?
Looking back, it was a very trying time, especially when we remember that there was no electricity. And, you had to keep the child fed. And at that time, he was on the breast milk. And with not being able to get the proper food myself, it was difficult for him then, for us then. My first son, the delivery was about 6 hours. But from the beginning, Tarick was outstanding in that his was only 3 hours.
3 hours?
I remember when I went in the morning, his father left me at the hospital and he went to work to come back. And when he came back, Tarick was there beside me.
What was centered on my mind, that Dean, affectionately call her Dean, she can say to me at any moment, the time is now.
Yes.
And we would have to come from Spanish Town to St. Joseph Hospital. I was a nervous wreck during the day. The night was even worse. I did not sleep that night. And listening to the wind on the roof in the total darkness, even though Hurricane Gilbert was going along, all my intention was that, Lord, let I don't hear these words, that she'd have to go down to St. Joseph Hospital.
But Tarick said, I'm ready.
Tarick said, I'm ready, correct. Yes.
What kind of relationship you have with your older brother?
Well, my older brother's name is Travis Walton. He attends the University of Technology. And we have a good relationship, a regular relationship. We share things, we enjoy things together. Sometimes we may have arguments, but we laugh, we'll talk about all kind of stuff.
You don't fight?
We don't. Well, we used to fight. When we were much younger, we used to fight, but being older now and more mature,
yes.
We don't fight anymore. But we still have arguments. But throughout all of it, we do have mutual respect and care for each other. My life.
Your parents tell me you are very disciplined, Your mom says she has never had to tell you to do your
study.
homework and to study. How?
How?
Yeah.
Well, as I said before, if you want to succeed, it's all up to you.
But there's so many distractions
So many distractions.
for a young man your age. Yes?
Well, there's
All
a time and a
kinds.
place for everything. A time and a place for everything. I know that I'm a young man that loves to laugh. I love to have fun. At the same time, I love to exercise. So each day I plan my day in that I get up in the mornings, I eat, I go out and jog 6 miles every day at 6 o'clock every day in the evenings. And throughout all that time, I know when to study, when to go onto the computer, when to just talk on the phone, when to just have fun.
So you plan these things?
I plan it out all in my head.
You're not right. Some people say you're not right.
Really?
So you plan from...
Plan it all out.
And you stick to that timetable?
Stick to it, because it makes no sense for you to plan and not stick to it. So I go.
Tarick has a grade 1 in CXC Spanish, mathematics, English language, English literature, physics, computer science and technical drawing. He has a 2 in his favorite subject, chemistry.
2 for chemistry.
What went wrong with the chemistry?
I thought chemistry was also one of my best subjects. Well, I'm more inclined to the mathematical field. But chemistry now, while in the exam I studied a lot for it, I thought I had it. But during the last exam, because then chemistry, the papers were split up into 3 parts. So the last paper itself now, I became, I must say, overconfident. And so I started to write down stuff, not really hitting it on the nail, but just writing down from what I know. And I guess it surprised me though. I got the 2 in chemistry.
Having taught Tarick in grade 5 and 6 at primary school, his mother's proudest moment was when her son got a grade 1 for his most challenging subject, English language.
When I taught him, when he was doing in his composition writing communication task, I said to him, Tarick, if you continue to write the way you write, you will not get a 1 in your communication, in your language arts, CXC. And I said, you'll get it in everything else, but you might not get it in that one unless you change your writing pattern. And he said to me, Mommy, if I get 1 in my language arts, give me a laptop. That's what he said to me. And I said, okay, I will. My proudest moment was when we came to the office here at Campion. We came to the office and he got his letter, I think, and I opened it. I took the letter and I opened it and I smiled because when I looked, I saw 7-1 and 1-2. And beside language arts, English language, there was a 1. And I said, this is going to cost me. That was my proudest moment.
Your mom said to you about language.
Language.
Yes. She thought you wouldn't have done as well as get a grade 1. What did you do differently, if you did anything differently?
All right. This is a long story though. All right. When she told me that, I was kind of shocked. And I was saying to myself, boy, Tarick, you really have to get the 1 in English language, you know. Well, literature was somewhat okay for me, but the language itself. And anytime somebody would doubt me, I would become somewhat nervous. So now, my grades, in a way, started to deteriorate during English.
Yes.
But from then, I saw the need to buy an observer every morning. And since I arrived to school so early in the mornings, at about 6:30 every morning, I take that time to just read and familiarize myself with the language itself. Read, read, and read. Just as Ben Carson said in both of his autobiographies, that in order for you to move up, you must read a lot. So I read each morning, took that time to reflect on the day ahead, and tried to do better.
You know?
When did he first come to your attention? When did you realize that this boy was...
In 4th form, we were doing a raisin in the sun. And Benitha, that character, right? He had a thing with Benitha because everybody was beneath her. you know. And he seemed to understand the characters. And I said, God, this boy good. You know, he was just into the book. He understood the characters. He could explain. He understood their motives. And I hardly have a boy who is into literature like that. So when I have a student like that, I have to cherish him.
Yes.
So I would go and I'm all excited and tell people about Tarick Walton, you know what I mean? And he made the thing come alive, right? Because he really enjoyed what he was doing.
So you taught him in what years?
I taught him in 4th form and 5th form.
What do you want to do as an adult? What professional pursuit?
The career that I'm pursuing is within the engineering field. Aeronautical engineer, chemical engineer, civil engineer, because I'm good at technical drawing. That would help me in the civil engineering, chemistry that would help me in the chemical engineering, and the physics would help me in all of them.
So you haven't settled on one yet?
I haven't settled on one as yet. And even actuary, because I love maths.
You love maths?
Tarick not only excels academically, he's also involved in several extracurricular activities.
I sing on the youth choir presently. I was also involved in the Pathfinder, which is somewhat like scouting. Scouting is like similar to pathfinding, where we go out, help the old, we help everyone. We go out and give them breakfast in the mornings, and we just try to live in unity within the community.
I see you're very active in school life. You're a prefect. Tell me what you do here at Campion. You do several things.
I do several things. I love to do sports. I love to exercise. So I enjoy going into the pool, taking swimming from my school, playing water polo, which is a very difficult sport for me. I enjoy playing table tennis with my friends Gordon and Michael.
Yeah.
I play lawn tennis. I do academical extracurricular activities, and I enjoy it all.
Any fears about Tarick at all in the future? If there's a fear you have, what is that?
The only fear that I have, if I could call it fear, if there is any change in him in terms of his attitude. Why do I say that? Many young men, once they feel as if they are getting ahead with needy attention, if they are not guided properly, they tend to go astray and think, I have reached here. My fear, and given our ability with God's help, that we will continue to guide him, and based on the training that he got from early years in his life, I think he's a cemented young man. He's a man with a determination. He's a young man that wants to excel.
How would you describe Tarick Walton in a sentence?
Tarick Walton in a sentence. Tarick Walton in a sentence. Tarick Walton is a dreamer, but also a fulfiller. If that's a word, a fulfiller.
Congratulations. Thanks much.
Thanks.
Good.